Hello everyone, this is a bit of a different video than what I'm used to making. I thought I would, just like film with my phone. And basically what I wanted to talk about is that you don't need like a drawing tablet to draw. That's pretty obvious, but even though I have one and it took me quite a few years to even decide to get one because of the expense it is, and the other thing you have to keep in mind is it's not just a tablet. You also need a table that can support it, a computer that could also hold it. I kind of run it on a toaster because I don't need a big old fancy computer to run it. I'm also not using Photoshop, so that's another benefit, or hard cam software. Am I thinking cam? No, CAD. I meant CAD. So basically, yeah, the thing that I learned is, though I use it constantly because, yeah, it makes drawing and iterating drawings a lot more easy, um, I I also suggest you have some physical tools. Now, the point of this is that I'm trying to talk about drawing on a budget. So a lot of these tools are relatively inexpensive. I mean, you're probably looking to spend around maybe like $50-$60 in total for this, but I wanted to talk a bit about them. So, like, when you're practicing anything, whether it be some online course or if you're just watching like some video on YouTube and you're trying to draw along, or even if it's like a book I've been reading recently has been Rapid Viz. I like it. I'm kind of just going about trying to follow all the exercises to kind of like expand my drawing practice of 3D objects. I think it is helping. I mean, this is kind of funny. I thought some courses I took in the past would have covered all of it, but that's just not the case. So yeah, I do suggest it. Not every exercise in here is going to be like 100% worth your time. Yeah, pro tip, if you ever need to hold a book open, I think these are like maybe 2-inch binder clips. Get 2 of them and it'll hold your book open, and I love it. Or you could just use a book to hold it open, but then it may cover some of the content. But yeah, these things are, they help me a lot more than I thought they would. So I highly suggest it. But other than that, so some of the tools, starting out with like some of the courses that I took when I was doing Drawbox, you just used a 0.5 fine liner, and that works. A lot of the philosophy they say when like a course requires just that tool is that, like, okay, you can erase it. So I have to be honest with you. Whenever I draw with a pencil, I never erase it either. I mean, I guess the possibility exists, but I never have like successfully erased something. I know that sounds kind of weird and funny, but it's just like never been my thing. Like, no matter what eraser I would use, I would either make it worse or rip the page, or it would be worse than as if I never drawn before. I mean, like, as if yeah, as if I shouldn't have done it in the first place. So some of the tools I want to talk about, like, you can get these off Amazon. I really like the Rotring 0.5 millimeter. This is by far what I really like to use for just structure. So like, it makes a line. I mean, it's pretty thin. It's not the thinnest line you can make, but I mean, it's thin enough for like practicing like the structure of like boxes and whatnot, or anything you want to. You may not think of it as more of like you can't focus on line quality with it because it's just so thin, and that's not really its purpose. You could also use this tool to write. The benefit of it is, it's a bit heavy, but I like it anyways. It won't like slide off your table or anything because it's like, I believe, a hexagon. So maybe it's an octagon, but the point of it is it makes that type of line. I have this other tool. It's a Faber-Castell. It's a lead holder. So like, compared to the Rotring that has like, I believe it's 0.5 HB lead. Compared to that, it has like a stick of pencil lead, And the difference is that, like, this is a lead holder compared to, like, a mechanical pencil. This just holds, like, a big stick of lead. It's not that expensive, but the benefit to this is it's like extremely lightweight, but it's also hard to get like the same line every time you draw. I mean, in short, whenever I use it, it's pretty much like it could be thinner, but the line can kind of vary because I believe this is a 2mm lead. And in short, like that means that like the stick is a bit like thicker compared to like the really thin piece you have here. So as you use this, you may either get like a really thin line or a really thick one. I mean, even if you like draw from the side, there's a chance that you can get even like a thicker line. Yeah, like that. Because there are some like overhand styles if you're holding this. So like you can use it for different quality. You can probably use it for shading a bit as well if you would want to. I do like it. So the other pencil that I wanted to talk about is, okay, so this is the thinnest one on the market. It's Pentel Orange, I think. It may just be I'm not sure if it's Pentel. I think it's just Orange. Oh yeah, it is Pentel. It has 0.2mm lead. Now, like these other pencils that I showed before, this one's really bizarre, in which you would use it for, let's say you draw with a 0.5mm and you want to like maybe draw something smaller, like maybe a design detail. That's what you would use this for. Now this, like, you can't see the point on it because like it apparently works like it's an automatic system. So it's like, I mean, you do have to fill it with lead, but like you don't see the tip, and basically you just draw with it, and it makes a really thin line. It's the thinnest line. It uses 0.2mm lead, and it's extremely thin. So you'd use that for maybe if you want to like, yeah, like details, or maybe you want to like try to write something on it or near it. It could be helpful for conveying an idea. So the last pencil I wanted to talk about is, now this one, I really like this one. It's a Koh-i-Noor. I'm probably saying that name completely wrong. Basically holds, I believe, 5.6mm lead. So it's a lot smaller and larger than the other ones. But like, I really like the line quality you get with it. I mean, granted, this type of pencil is one you would use more for shading. The type of line, it's like a really thick, dark line. I really like that because it makes things like really easy to see. But it's probably not so much for drawing and more for shading, but I think you could still use it for drawing if you'd want to. Yeah, I really do like it. It's just a really cool piece of tech. I'll like put this on the webpage, like I'll like list this stuff on the webpage to kind of help explain it. So yeah, you get like a bunch of different line qualities, and you know, they're just tools, different lines for different purposes. Now, the thing about this is that compared to like the thin leads, the thicker leads, like they're eventually going to require you to either sharpen them, or if you get like really fine sandpaper, I'm not sure what quality it is. I just got these off Amazon for convenience, something that would fit in my pencil case. It wasn't that expensive, but basically you kind of like, if you ever have sharpened anything before, you kind of like sharpen and rotate it, and the idea is you could get it as sharp or as rounded as you want it to be. Because if we talk about this pencil and this pencil, the Rotring and the Faber-Castell, so like with the Rotring pencil, you're always gonna get like the same quality line with it. You're not gonna get like a thicker line. Like you would never sharpen that lead. You just use it as is, and sometimes it can't kind of like could come to a slant, and you may need to like rotate the mechanical pencil so like you're not using the same side. Because if you think of like, let's say we're looking at the bottom of a piece of lead, and sorry, I'm kind of like really doing bad at this. because I'm holding it, or, I'm gonna do it more, yeah, okay, like this, right? So unless you're holding the pencil straight up, you are not going to be using that, like, that piece of lead that's basically like when you're writing on the page, you're effectively rubbing off that lead onto the page. And that's the only way you're gonna like be taking like chunks of the lead off evenly. But if you're like drawing at an angle effectively, you're gonna get like, think of it like a chisel of it. So like you're wearing down a section of it faster than the other section. Eventually that section's gone and you have a point. So then then the line quality like will change ever so slightly. So the thing to keep in mind is it does help to kind of like, as you draw, rotate your pencil. But that's for like the thinner leads. But like with the Faber-Castell, I mean, obviously that same thing could happen. I believe if you do that, I mean, with any lead, it could snap more easily. But the thing to keep in mind is you could use the sandpaper to kind of sharpen it to your liking to get it to the point that you want to get it at. So the last thing I wanted to talk about are the Copics. Now, I mentioned the 0.5 fine liner before. That's usually a good place to start. I believe this is a 0.5 fine liner. I don't know. They probably have some other category of what they call it. But yeah, I think having this just in grays is a good idea for, if you're starting to learn like rendering and whatnot. I just want to mention I'm not getting paid or like affiliate links when I'm talking about any of this stuff, but I just kind of wanted to talk about that a lot of these tools aren't as expensive as like a $2,000 drawing tablet. The thing you should also keep in mind is, though I have this and I use it all the time like crazy, I do get a bit stir crazy and I want to get out of my house. So like I have this whole stuff I take with me on the go. It makes life a lot more like, fun. Not being limited to one place all the time to do your art is definitely a benefit. It could also, expand your horizons. The last thing I wanted to talk about is this drawing board. It's a Springer Atlas. It's basically just like, I'm not sure what material it is. I don't think it's cork board, but it's some other type of material. It's very common. Let me like get this stuff out of the way. So, in short, yeah, it's just a board. It fits in my backpack, even though my backpack is a bit weird. It's like one of those hiking ones that has like extra room at the top for it, but it fits into it well enough for me to get it in. I do suggest it because it's large enough for you to put on your lap, so you could pretty much draw wherever you want to. I'm not saying like this is the thing you need. I mean, there are other boards that are smaller, but in my experience, it was hard for me to draw with my shoulder. So this one is definitely my favorite. I believe it's like a Springer Atlas. So yeah, the other thing, last thing, is printer paper. It's very cheap and you can buy a bunch of it. And I think you could recycle it. I should probably know that. I mean, I usually do recycle it. I usually just put it in a shredder. It ends up sending it somewhere to get shredded or recycled. But yeah, just so you know, probably this stuff, it's probably within the $60 to $80 range. But I would say, like, before you even buy any tool, depending on the class or a book or something you're trying to follow, then get the tools you need. These are just tools, though I do have preferences. Just know that like they're made to get you drawing and you don't need any one tool. You very well could just use like a ballpoint pen and a pencil to accomplish it, but personally, why I don't use that stuff, or like why I really like to use this raw drawing all the time, is just because it makes life so much easier. And this will also fit in your pocket. Like the other ones I kind of have to put in a case, but this one, if I like undo the thing, it fits in my pocket nicely, or you can like put it on your shirt. But just be known, it's kind of heavy and it'll probably just go in your pocket. But yeah, thanks for listening.